In today's video, we're gonna go over some creepy TikTok conspiracies. Let's get into it.
The reason why I don't want to go to Skinwalker Ranch is because of something that we discovered after covering the ranch on the main feed is the hitchhiker effect. I am terrified of this. Well, basically what the hitchhiker effect is that most people who go to Skinwalker Ranch, and in some cases, like some pools of questioning, every single person that they questioned after they went to Skinwalker Ranch brought something home with them. And what that something is, no one really knows. All they know is that it is paranormal activity that manifests itself in many different ways. Some people, it manifests itself in disembodied voices. Some people, it manifests as moving objects like poltergeist activity. Other people, they see blue orbs that will just suddenly appear in their house. And one person had a blue orb. He said it moved through him, and very soon after, he got a very aggressive form of cancer. And some people even see shadow people.
That's the most dangerous form of ghost. Did you know that?
That's what I hear.
According to Ed Warren.
the shadow monster.
Yes, the most dangerous form of ghost.
I am always interested in Skinwalker Ranch. I don't know if I necessarily believe it personally, but if anyone ever actually offered me a full trip out there to test some things, to just experience it, I would probably take them up on the offer if it was a legit offer. I would like to experience some of the weird phenomena that happens out there. I would like to see some of the crazy things people see. It is a little concerning that you might take back something home that you do not want to take, but that all the more proves something's going on. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Would you be willing to go to Skinwalker Ranch? Have you been to Skinwalker Ranch? Let me know.
Do you remember the guy named Fitz that gave his testimony about the interdimensional beings at the Bayside shopping mall in Florida?
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Fitz. I was there at the Bayside Mall with my family.
So the very first video on guy named Fitz's account is him giving his testimony about what happened. I find it kind of strange that this guy's entire account is based off that alien sighting at the Bayside shopping center, which leads me to believe it's a psyops. This all conveniently happened around the same time that they released some confidential court dockets to the public regarding the Epstein client case. But I do find it interesting, there's a 7-part series on his account.
What made our situation a little bit different is that I do have footage. And I didn't take it on a smartphone.
But he did come out and say that sometimes when he goes out in public, he carries around a VHS camcorder that he's able to record on.
I do take a VHS camcorder. And that night, when everyone was getting their phones confiscated and files deleted, nobody noticed that I had a VHS camcorder. Yeah, I have the footage here.
I'm a firm believer that when they fired up the LHC at CERN, it inevitably tore holes in the fabric of our reality. And I know for a fact alternate dimensions are opening up to and folding into and onto our reality. We are 3- and 4-dimensional beings on the cusp of being able to experience 5, 6, and 7D consciousness. I've seen those black antimatter sea urchin beings in shadow work meditation. It's like a 7th dimensional symbiote. Keep in mind that as we tap into 5, 6, and 7D consciousness, we're not only going to be able to see the spirits of light, we will also be able to see the inverted shadows of darkness.
I do remember the Bayside shopping mall incident that happened earlier this year because it was all over the internet. This in particular creator that claims that he had the VHS tape, I do not believe this story whatsoever. I'm pretty certain that this was all just a hoax, even from that creator that was at the mall. He probably just took the opportunity, said he's seen entities, said that he recorded it, and that was it.
The purpose of the Prohibition is so much more different than
what we were told.
Surface level. At the time, people were using alcohol to fuel their cars and their homes. So they were using it as energy. And they were creating their own alcohol. So basically everybody, it was a common practice to collect all your food scraps and ferment them in your home. And it was a completely renewable and easily attainable form of energy. And then they just banned it. They said you can't make it, you can have it in your house. And they said it burns so cleanly, we wouldn't have any of the harmful environmental effects that we have today if we had continued this practice.
I've never heard that in my entire life.
Isn't that crazy?
That's wild. That gave me goosebumps.
It's crazy. I mean, obviously cars these days aren't manufactured in such a way that you could use it, but that's purposeful also.
Pour a little bit of moonshine in there. That'll get it going.
That'll get you going real good. Think about it. What we truly know is that the elites that were making those decisions were still drinking. Yeah. They were still drinking during the Prohibition.
That makes so much more sense.
There's no money in that if you can sustain yourself.
What was that Shia LaBeouf movie?
Oh, yeah, Lawless.
Dude.
I really wish that we could recycle our food, ferment it, turn it into gases for our vehicles, for our generators, things like that. I'm sure there's someone out there that's really smart enough that can engineer an engine to properly run on moonshine or other different kinds of fuels other than like fossil fuel. There's probably a way to manufacture an engine that can operate on it completely.
Okay, I'm taking a video. If I don't video it, nobody's gonna believe me. See, not really any wind. And then you see this happy tree over here. Happy tree! Do you see it? Just a happy tree, just a waving.
I'm almost certain that that's the wind, but I have something very similar in my yard that I actually really appreciate. My wife bought some elephant ears, and we had this really big black one, and it was in a pot. And it was not doing so well, so I ended up planting it near my ditch line. After I planted it out there, it really started doing well. And every morning when I leave to go to work, it's always waving back and forth, always in the morning. And it's just like, hi, little buddy, I see you out there. Sure, it's the wind, but still, it does make you feel a little happy to see a plant waving at you.
The Vatican's secret time travel device. The chronovisor is allegedly a device that allows its user to see through time. According to Francois Brune in his book The New Mystery of the Vatican, it was developed by Benedictine monk Father Pellegrino Ernetti. Ernetti kept the device a secret until the 1960s, when he told Brune that 12 scientists, including Enrico Fermi and Werner von Braun, helped him make it. The chronovisor is made of cathode rays, antenna, and metals that receive sound and light signals of multiple wavelengths. The team supposedly used it to document events in the past, where they got footage of Jesus Christ from the Last Supper to his crucifixion. So, essentially this machine could be used to confirm the teachings and stories of the Bible, because you could go to them. They claim to have visited a 2nd century Roman market and watched a 169 BCE performance of Quintus Aeneas' play Thyestes. To prove the existence of the chronovisor, Father Ernetti transcribed the entire play, since only fragments of it existed. But of course, Ernetti claimed they dismantled the chronovisor after the experimental stage due to fears it could reveal past events, including state secrets. This led to speculation that the device might still exist, hidden in the Vatican's secret archive.
I am a huge fan of the chronovisor theory. I love the stories behind the chronovisor. I truly believe that if we are capable of traveling through time, the chronovisor would be one of the only ways that we could do that. I do not believe that we would be able to physically travel through time. I do not think that we can take our bodies through time. We are not currently the past. We are a part of the past. So we can look through the light and view things that happened from the past, which means also that we cannot see the future. We cannot see what hasn't happened yet because it hasn't happened. But when it comes to the chronovisor, I think that this is one of the most realistic forms of time travel technology, to the point where we can just see the past. We can't go to the past, we cannot alter the past, but we can see it. And if this technology exists, I guarantee people are still using it to this day. That's probably how they manipulate the world. They've seen how it operated in the past, and they know how to manipulate it in everyone's favor for control or what have you. There's still someone probably out there using the chronovisor to see things that happened. Let me know what you guys think of the chronovisor. It's really a fun theory, fun lore to me. I really enjoy it. Hey, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel. I only ask once per video, and I make a video like this almost every day. And currently we're at 11,441 subscribers. And to everyone that's subscribed and or watching, thank you so much for being subscribed, and thank you for watching.
This situation is crazy as hell. There was this event that happened way back in the day that I don't think even sounds real, but it is. So this happened in 1908 in Siberia, right? There was this like uncharted area. It was like huge plot of land that had nothing there but a bunch of trees, right? Yeah. There was no residents, no animals, nothing like that. Well, you know, there's obviously creatures, things like that. Out of nowhere, bro, this powerful blast shot through this whole area, bro, and pretty much leveled this entire area, bro. It's like Nigga, I swear to God, it literally leveled about 80 million trees in that area.
Really?
Yes, if it was like for miles, bro.
Just one fat trail.
No, it's like, it looks like the blast radius of the whole is gone, so like all the trees are knocked over and the whole area is like, whatever this thing was did not have a place of impact, so it didn't hit the ground. Scientists were also theorizing that it was either like a meteor or something like that, or a comet that just like passed through everything. Like, I forgot what they called it, the airwave or air blast or whatever from the tail of it, just like up that whole area.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The what they call it, and it just flew past. But scientists till this day, bro, do not know what actually happened.
What level that forest?
What level that forest to knock down 80 million trees, dude.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, I did not look this up to confirm if this is facts, but if that is the case, that's pretty scary. If this is a true story, I wonder what that could have been that actually wiped that many trees out. And we're probably lucky it didn't hit land.
I have some potentially new Bigfoot evidence to present for you today. So this comes from a hiker who was out enjoying the day hiking, taking random pictures of nature, when they were going through their camera feed at the end of the day and saw these photos. What looks like a Bigfoot crouched behind a rock, attempting to blend in. But you can tell by the shape, the outline, especially of the cone head, that it's definitely not a bush. It looks like fur. Take a look at this footage and keep in mind this is the classic characteristics of a Bigfoot when it's spotted, trying to blend into its background, but the shapes are just completely different.
I don't think that that's a Bigfoot. I mean, I see the outline. It does kind of look like maybe a gorilla sitting with its back facing towards the person. But I don't know. I wish there was more video evidence that lasted a little longer so that we could possibly see it move. But to me, that looks like it could just be a part of a stump or maybe even a dirt mound. Let me know what you guys think it is.
What's up, y'all? Now, here's a few things to think about, all right? Check it out. Allegedly, the Earth runs in cycles or resets. As you can see with the pictures, pretty much self-explanatory, right? And there's a lot of things that we don't know about or we never learned about or just weren't told. Like this right here. This is from 1786, you know, the beginnings of airships, meaning... For example, Hobart, Australia. This looks just like an ancient Greek temple, right? Well, allegedly it was built in the mid-1800s, right? Just to make it a museum. They're like, okay, let's just, the 1840s, okay, let's make a massive Greek temple-looking museum in our town. Good idea. Then there's the mud flood theories, okay? This right here is the Temple of Artemis. You know, look at the top right here. Look where he's got the lines drawn, and then look right here below it. You can see, you know, I mean, just comparing the two, how much lower the ground. Another question, this right here was the San Francisco World's Fair in 1915, right? They built these temporary structures and then got rid of them. How was this thing that dirty back then? Why would they, why? I'm sure y'all check out my Pilot Mountain video.
I am absolutely certain that there was other civilizations that were more advanced than other civilizations of that time. And it would not surprise me, even on the ground that I'm standing on, hundreds of feet down, there was probably some kind of structure here at some point.
Did anyone else find the invitations to the all-white party extremely weird? This is the highest profile party in the world called the all-white party. It's hosted by billionaire Michael Rubin and it happens every year on the 4th of July. But there was something about the invitations that just didn't sit right with me. This one is Tom Brady's, this one right here is Drake's, and this is Quavo's. You can see all of the celebrities' invitations if you just look them up. But if you pause and look at the artwork, there's some weird stuff going on. These invitations were done by George Condo. This is a very popular artist and some of his artwork goes for millions of dollars, and he gave each celebrity their own unique invitation. And I looked up some of his artwork and he has a lot of interesting stuff, including when he collabed with Kanye West for one of his album covers, he drew him up a bunch of artwork. Yeah, I mean, speaks for itself. A lot of people question what actually goes down during this party, especially after they saw what Michael Rubin made Meek Mill do, jumping around like a bunny because he supposedly lost a bet. And then in the private jet, when Lil Baby and Meek Mill were saying that they were gonna get drunken hugs if they don't behave at the party.
Tonight, I don't care what anyone says. You're getting a drunken hug. You too, drunken hugs are coming tonight.
I'm almost certain that there's some really weird stuff that goes down. If anyone came up to me and said, you're gonna get some drunken hugs tonight, I'm worried. I'm not going at this point. But then I guess if you're stuck on a private jet, you really have no choice but to at least get there to go back. So you're kind of stuck at that point. I don't think I would have it in me to go to an all-white party or any kind of party like that. Now, don't get me wrong. I would like to get the invitation because the artwork is cool. It looks really abstract. It's kind of scary looking. I actually don't mind the artwork. But it really goes to show how far you'll go for some money or how far you'll go because you have money, I guess. To me, I guess it's unfathomable because I'm just not in a position like that. But I couldn't see myself getting in one either.
Summer's in full swing, and while we're out there on the lakes, rivers, and in oceans, be careful because you never know what's in the water with you. Take a look at this footage that was captured by a group of people who were out at the Huape Lake in Argentina. They capture a massive unidentified creature. I want to take note that this is actually the second witness video I've shared of this lake monster, who the locals have dubbed Najalito. Take a look at this footage because it's very interesting. As you see the creature moving through the water, you can count 4 humps. Whatever it is, it's something we've never seen before. Tell me what you think.
¿Qué es? ¿Ah? Vanilerita. ¿Se hundieron? No, ahí van. Oye, pero ¿y la gente no se ha dado cuenta? Aquí se han dado cuenta.
I'm not sure what that was. To me, it kind of looked like wave ripples, but then after they panned out a little bit, you could still see it going. So I really don't know. Maybe it was just a really large snake. Do they have anacondas in that area? Or could it really have been like a Loch Ness monster? I doubt that, but a snake, possibly.
2 seconds won't do anything.
Get him, get him, get him, get him! That would probably keep me from sticking my hands in the water like that ever again.
Did you see how hot it got in India? No. It's getting up to like almost 130 degrees in parts of India.
Dude, no freaking way.
The streets are melting.
That's so scary.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as what's happening in Britain, though.
Oh, yeah, the UK.
Dude, the heat strokes over there.
They have a heat wave coming. There's just like pictures of them just sweating, pouring water on their heads. It was literally 78 degrees.
Fahrenheit?
Yes.
Come on.
What are we doing?
I will say they don't have AC, though.
Yeah, it's true.
That's true. But still.
Can we comment on these degenerate punks in the climate change community?
Wow. So I had to look up and see if the UK really didn't have AC. Apparently only 5% of the home population has air conditioning in their homes, and that's crazy to me. I mean, to be fair, 78 degrees Fahrenheit, not that bad. I kind of wish that it would stay like that here in South Carolina all year long. It's been a rough 90 plus degrees as of recent, and it's probably going to get a little hotter as August rolls around. I used to live in a house that had absolutely no air or heat, and the summers were awful. It was basically a sauna in the house. You better have gone outside if you planned on living. The winters were nice and cold, and I actually enjoy that. When it comes to the cold, I have no problem with the cold. I can dress accordingly until I'm comfortable. But when it comes to the heat, there's only so much clothes I can take off before it becomes illegal. To the people that live in the UK and watch this show, do you guys have AC or are you going with no AC? Let me know in the comments. And if you've ever heard of an AC window unit, that might be a lifesaver for you.
I'm sorry, but what the hell is going on in the UK now? Oh my days. It's just absolutely brilliant. What is going on? So of course, I'm sure you're all very aware that Labour, Keir Starmer, won the election last week and is now in Parliament and is already making some drastic changes. So, quite a bit's been going on in the prisons in the UK recently, which I'm sure you've seen. Of course, you had the Lady of Wandsworth in her little video, which was, yeah, interesting. Now, there's another one which emerged only this morning, apparently. But, according to Keir Starmer, the UK prisons are just too full. Apparently, there's literally like 700 spaces available in prisons across the whole country. Of course, how are they going to tackle this? By releasing people who didn't really do that bad things? No. By specifically looking at each individual person, analysing their case? No. You're going to release 40,000 inmates from prison. 40,000? Oh my days. Anybody who is serving a 4-year sentence and has already completed 12 months of it is most likely going to be released. But yeah, That's going to be interesting. Please hit that follow button and I'll keep you updated.
So that's another one that I had to look up, and it does confirm to be true. Now, there is a little bit of misleading information that this creator is talking about. It's not a guaranteed 40,000, at least from the article that I read. It is up to 40,000, so it could be anywhere from 10 to 40,000. It's not.
Yeah, so God updated the servers again last night, y'all. And he gave us this new DLC. It's a yellow quill-tip porcupine. Never seen one of these in my life. Can't tell by the tail. Looks like a possum. But yeah, that's the update.
I've never seen one of those, so that was pretty cool. It does have a tail like a possum, and it looks mildly fluffy. It kind of looks like it's been wallowing around in pollen, and that's just stuck to it.
This is a matrix. I don't care what anyone says. You know, a lot of people like to talk about God, which I call the prime creator. A lot of people who are out there talking about God, what they think is God and what I think is God is completely different. I think they actually might be praying to a devil. I believe there's a prime creator above everything, but he doesn't interfere. But I think the person or the entity in charge of this matrix, I don't think they're benevolent at all.
What do you mean?
I don't think the deity that runs this realm is benevolent in any sense of the imagination. I believe that people are actually praying to an entity that doesn't actually encompass love and forgiveness and all of that other stuff. I think it's more of entrapment, enslavement, things of that nature. Because think about it. If you're all powerful, why would you care if people worshiped you?
This is a really touchy subject for a lot of people. I have always thought, even when I used to go to church as a kid, that what if the Bible is not the real Bible? What if there was a real Bible a very long time ago? And I'm talking about older than anyone could possibly even have today. And it was manipulated to work in the favor of some other entity or some other false idol. I've always wondered that, even when I was a kid. And that still kind of carries over today. Now, that doesn't mean that I do not believe in God or that I don't have any will to believe in God. It just makes me wonder if the God that I potentially believe in is the correct God to believe in. What if it's some other kind of false idol? Because that narrative has been rewritten for us to believe a different way, if that makes any sense. I can ramble all over the place on this one because I really like this topic, because I question it a lot. And I know a lot of people get upset with me for questioning faith, but when we live in a world that's so corrupt and they try to hide truths from us and they change things for us all the time, why would they leave us in a world that has a Bible? That just makes me think that the Bible is a part of this greater evil scheme that's going on in the world. Again, there could have been a Bible a very long time ago that was true, a real Bible that actually spoke of the real God. And I'm not saying that these current Bibles aren't that. I'm saying, what if they aren't that? So don't attack me too hard for asking these questions or having these thoughts, but you can leave a comment letting me know why that would not be the case, because this is something I question quite a bit, and it's probably dooming my soul for thinking that way. I completely understand that, but I am left here in this world with a lot of questions. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode here today. As always, if you enjoyed any of these clips, links are in the description down below. And with that being said, have a good day.